Hey! This is Synoptic, and I'm doing a 2 vs 2 commentary for Empire Total War. And it involves all TLG members. It's me and Blonkers versus Bushranger and LaSalle, all of TLG. We are as the United States versus the Dutch on the map Bavaria. So let's go into an overview. I'm in the bottom right, Blonkers is bottom left, LaSalle is top left, and Bushranger, with the only one with artillery, is top right. And back to the mid left with Blonkers versus LaSalle. Their contact is made with rifles. So you have rifles versus light infantry. But also note this is Blonkers' cavalry. He's sending them far into the back. So taking advantage of this hole, he can bring this unit later on in the game for some pretty big damage. We'll see later on what he does with it. Back to my fight, we saw the meat shells just clash, and now they're both retreating. I tried to grenade the militia unit, but they're too far now, so I'm just going to shoot them. And in causing that mild retreat, I have no intention of letting up. I'm just going to follow them. And the problem with retreating is if you just forget about certain units, the other person can take full advantage. So he left some of his horses a bit too far forward, just within range. I got to shoot a few more. Basically what has happened is I'm avoiding the middle here, and I'm going to fully envelop on the right, which has caused a full collapse with the Bushranger's army. He's falling back closer to his artillery, which is where he wants me. But Blonkers is using a 2-line build of his build-up of his armies, which is stretching LaSalle quite far, and LaSalle's countering this with stretching out his militia. So as opposed to just full-on meat shield in front of the units, he's using them a part of the line. So you might remember that unit that I called out earlier, Blonkers' heavy cav, which he sent out on his left. It has ran all around both armies in the rears, and he's kept them a while away. And he's sending them into my guy's army, Bushranger, into the side, which is going to allow me to make a full assault. Actually, I didn't even see this happening in the game, because all I remember was Blonkers saying, charge. And so I did. Luckily, this happened. He already knew what was happening. So his cavalry is disrupting the main line, and see with the green dots, I am moving up all my men to start attacking this body. Notice how, since he has artillery, Bushranger, he's forced to commit men to it, so he isn't able to put all his army here to stop my advance. So he's going to get some fire and then probably fall back. So that's a very good start by Blonkers. Disruption is a very big tactic in this game, and no better unit than to use with a cav. Immediately Bushranger tries to curb stomp my advance with his cav, but I already set up a square covered by a line infantry unit, so he's pulled those units back. At this point I'm going to release them from the square and then charge at the cav, but at this point he's going to fall back completely, as you can see here. And now with my assault underway, Blonkers' one is now beginning with his 2-line, which is going to allow massive envelopment. With this forced LaSalle to think quite creatively, and he's using his militia coupled with his heavy cav on the right flank, his right. So there's going to be some exchange. Notice how we don't have that much rifles. So LaSalle has 5, I said 4 before, but he's got 5, which is heaps and heaps. But he also has 4 rifles. And so Blonkers is going to fight body to body with this, because when you stretch out your army it eliminates all flanking practically. So the best way is to go full on, and Blonkers is versing militia, as I said, so LaSalle's already pulling back there. So my full body is coming to attack, and now he's stopped retreating. He hasn't got much further to go. He's already in canister range, and there's so much happening that he's not able to get out of this. You'd think that they would do more damage, but that's about it. And I got my meat shield coming in. I've already eliminated all of Bushranger's meat shield, and now there's a huge fight over here with the cavalry, although I already shot many of them back at the start. So I'm setting up squares, as well as sending my cav in for reinforcements to destroy them. But Bushranger is also aiming at that general area with the artillery. Back in the middle of the fight, this is Blonkers' long-range body, consisting of 3 long-range and a Minuteman. LaSalle attempted to stop this with a guide to core, temporarily. Overall these will die pretty much, but they'll still hold up this unit, allowing for counterattacks. As you can see now, LaSalle is moving in for the kill with his Swiss infantry and a light infantry unit. So hold and destroy tactics from LaSalle. Over here is his bushranger now. As he committed his whole army, I was already practically ready for it. And his cavalry is slowly going down. He has men in the way, firing into them, although I've already disrupted with spare units. I have a regiment of horse to hold up his infantry units over here to stop them from shooting directly into my horses. But as you can see, most of these flags are Dutch, apart from one. So in my fight I engaged with the right flank. That is not where Bushranger wanted to have this fight. Clearly with the artillery placement he wanted it from the front. Coming in from the side he had to allocate men away from his artillery, so that made his overall men much weaker than they would have been if they were in one force. So taking them piecemeal, as well as Blanca's disruption, allowed me to defeat him. Now this one, Blanca's versus LaSalle, is boiling on for a while longer, because both teams are attacking each other, counter-attacking and retreating. So at this point, LaSalle and Blancas have reallocated their army multiple times. As you can see here, he's walling off against my upcoming army. Here I come in my advance. So he's ready for this attack. But look at Blancas' cav. He's got 3 units, practically full numbers. I still have a fair few as well coming up. I'm the green outline. Blancas is the blue outline. Bushranger's last unit is a Scot, and I was dumb enough to fight it up close. These guys are one of the best fighters in the game. Versing American line infantry, I don't really have a chance, even though I have heavy cav in there and I've attacked from both sides. It's going to rout some men, and at some point I'm going to pull out and just shoot it. Knowing my upcoming advance, LaSalle pushes his attack. He has 2 units of heavy cav. He's going to hit the right side. It looks like he wants to take this hill for himself. A big flaw here is his supporting army here is militia, which may not be useful in taking this hill. So he charged with his heavy cav and is being countered by heavy cav by equal numbers. And as he's walling off, the main wall here, because this is of his normal army, and they've been hit by those 3 heavy cav units by Blancas, and I think around about now Blancas loses connection to the game, or his computer freezes, which forces him to disconnect. Regardless, he has forced squares on LaSalle. Even routed household cav. Oh wait, that's his. Okay, even after the heavy cav charges by Blancas, so again he tried to disrupt the enemy for me while I move in. You can see with the green dots, I've moved in. He is definitely disconnected at this point. I remember this. I was just amazed at the AI shooting the enemy. He was shooting someone and it wasn't even them. So I'm moving in. A major thing about following a retreater is you shouldn't run straight at them. I'm running at them at an angle. I'm also taking the high ground, making the most out of the lost ground that LaSalle gives away. So Blancas is being taken by the AI, and you can see it's just in squares here. The AI has allowed itself to be enveloped. More A-class material here, so I'm forced to fight here. And I think they just sent a long rifleman to melee some Swiss infantry. Another good idea. Over here I sent my heavy cav unit against a relatively vulnerable Swiss infantry. So I'm just trying to clip his wings. So I need to stop him from moving while I move in for some more shots. So if I attack the ends of his line, retreating line with my cavalry, he has nowhere to run. If he runs back here, he's going to run straight into cav units. So he's partially grounded here. That's what I want. You can see now a lot of units are routing from the fire, now that I've stopped him in his tracks. And over here the AI is continuing to assault. So we got a heavy cav not really doing all that much, just running through the lines. And continuing to be enveloped by militia. This might prove useful. I haven't tried it myself. I don't think it would be that good using them as an actual force. I prefer them much more just to take fire, because they're only 400 or so points or dollars. Not really, you can't really assume they'll get many kills. And so grounding his retreating army, I practically just almost herded them into his main line, so he had nowhere to go anyway. So I've destroyed them, and all that's left is militia. The militia that was on the flank. Hopefully this battle shows a lot what comes down in this game. A lot of it comes down to just thinking ahead strategically in terms of land, taking land, where to fight, where not to. It's not necessarily just microing the hell out of your opponent. Okay, what that battle showed was heavy land exploitation, taking advantage of your opponent's placement and using the land around them, choosing where not to go and where to go, and taking advantage of artillery users, forcing them to come out and split up their army, and taking them on with your entire force. Blonkers used 2-line and forces opponent to stretch out, either that or get flanked, which is a pretty good move. And he also used Cavalry as a major disruption force at the start, which allowed me to do my entire attack practically. So good game to Blonkers, Bushranger and LaSalle. Thanks for watching.